The Whistler's Whirlpool Tap Caf on Trogan, situated on the coast of Trogan's most densely populated continent, the Whirlpool had been built around a natural formation called the Drinking Cup, a bowl-shaped rock pit open to the sea at its base. 6 times a day, Trogan's massive tidal shifts sent the water level inside the bowl either up or down, turning it into a violent whitewater maelstrom in the process. With the Tap Caf's tables arranged in concentric circles around the bowl, it made for a nice balance between luxury and the spectacular natural drama. A perfect drawing card for the billions of humans and aliens enamored of that combination.
You have the guest list. Right here. Afraid it's not as long as I'd hoped. And that's all right. Farrier. Niles Farrier. The spaceship thief? Yeah, that's him. He does smuggling, too. He works for the Empire. I'm talking about working directly for Grand Admiral Thrawn, doing such minor jobs as snatching the man who located the Katana fleet for him. Farrier did that? And seemed to enjoy doing it. Lacton?
Right here.
How do things look at the garrison?
Like a morgue on its day off.
I've never yet heard of an Imperial garrison simply taking a day off. Point. Maybe we should cancel the meeting. No. We'll stay. Our guests won't exactly be sitting here helpless, after all. And we should have adequate warning of any official moves against us. Actually, it's almost worth the risk, just to see what they have in mind. Still, we have 2 hours before the meeting. Let's see what we can arrange, shall we?
You speak well, Card. One might say passionately, if such a word could ever be said to apply to you. But you do not persuade.
Do I truly not persuade, Brask? Or do I merely fail to overcome your reluctance to stand up to the Empire?
The Empire pays well for smuggled goods.
And for slaves as well? And for victims of kidnap? You are no better than was the Hutt.
We're not here to argue. All I've suggested is that we provide the New Republic with any useful information we might happen to come across in the course of our activities.
Why are we here? You'll forgive me, Card, but this sounds very much like a New Republic recruitment speech.
Too dangerous. Far too dangerous. With Imperial harassment of New Republic shipping as it is, you take your life in claw grip every time you lift off.
So, what you're saying is that Imperial strength is becoming increasingly dangerous to our business activities.
Since Grand Admiral Thrawn took command, I've heard the stories of this warlord, Pata. It was he who forced my world under the Imperial Shroud.
That ought to be a good reason for you to stand up to him.
Nothing will happen to us if we don't oppose him. They need our services too much for that.
That's a nice theory. But I can tell you right now, it won't hold a mug's worth of vacuum.
And you are?
Niles Farrier. And I can tell you flat out that minding your own business isn't gonna do you a blame bit of good if Thrawn decides he wants you.
And yet he pays well. Or so I've heard.
You've heard that, huh? Have you also heard that he grabbed me off Nukov and confiscated my ship? And then ordered me out on a nasty little errand for him aboard a bomb-rigged intelligence bucket?
Were you paid for all your trouble?
Of course I was paid. That's not the point.
It is for me. Sorry, Card. But I still haven't heard any good reason for me to stick my neck out this way.
Very well. I think it's clear now where all of you stand on this. Thank you for your time. Perhaps we can plan to meet again after...
where you are. Face forward. No one move. Everyone here is under Imperial detention.
Looks like you were right about Farrier. Perhaps. On the other hand, perhaps not. Take a look. Just past Elor's shoulder. What in hell's name is that? Farrier's pet Defil, I think. Sometimes called Wraiths. Solo told me about him. This is it. Everyone ready?
We're ready.
Card swept his gaze across his fellow smugglers and their aides, catching each pair of eyes in turn. They gazed back, their shock at the ambush rapidly turning to a cold anger. And they, too, were ready.
Look, there.
Now.
The entire room exploded into blaster fire. Brask and his bodyguards took out an entire squad of troopers in the first 5 seconds, with a synchronized fire that showed the Brug hadn't forgotten his mercenary background. Partaw's entourage was concentrating on the other end of the line, their weapons smaller and less devastating than Brask's heavy blaster pistols, but more than enough to keep the Imperials pinned down. Dravis, Elor, and Klingon were taking advantage of that cover fire to pick off the remaining troopers one by one. Aves, Fane, concentrate fire on the chariots. There were shouts of acknowledgement from the edge of the drinking cup behind him, and the rifle blast sizzling past his shoulder shifted their aim. Card eased a little over his table, caught a glimpse of Mazik's female companion. Another Imperial lunged up out of cover, bringing his rifle to bear on her, falling backward again as Card's shot caught him square in the torso. From outside came the sound of a massive explosion, echoed an instant later by a second blast. And then it was all over. Everyone all right?
They got Lishma. He wasn't even shooting.
I'm sorry.
The Empire's going to be a lot sorrier. Okay, Card? I'm convinced. Where do I sign up?
Somewhere far away from here, I think. Pass the word to the others. We're pulling back to the ship.
Time to make ourselves scarce?
Just as soon as we can. Well, gentlefolk, we'll see you in space.
So what's the plan? You want us to help hunt down this clone pipeline you mentioned, right?
Yes. We know it goes through Podaris, so Oris sector is the place to start.
My group's with you. Matter of fact, Card, if you want, I'll see what I can do about getting your people some real fighting ships.
I may take you up on that. Partha?
We will assist in the search. The Empire must be taught a lesson.
Thank you, Mazik.
I agree with Partha, but I think the lesson needs to be a bit more eye-catching. You go ahead and do your clone hunts. Elor and I have something else in mind.
So much for staying neutral.
After that last raise and the Imperial price on us, there are probably 20 bounty hunters waiting off Coruscant for us to show up.
Is that what you think happened down there? Some bounty hunter got wind of the meeting and tipped off the Imperials?
Well, I'll have our people on Trogan make some quiet inquiries. See if they can backtrack that unit and find out where the tip-off came from. In the meantime, we have a hunt to organize. Let's get to it.
Niles Farrier, Admiral. As per orders. You were on Trogan 2 days ago. You met with 2 men currently wanted by the Empire, Talon Card and Samuel Tomas Gillespie. You also persuaded a small and unprepared task force under one Lieutenant Reynold Kosk to launch a rash attack on this meeting. An attack which failed. Is all this true?
Sure is. See, that's why I sent you that message, so you'd know.
Then I should like to hear your reasons. Why I should not order your immediate execution.
What? But I've gotten in with Card. He trusts me now. See, that was the whole idea. I can dig out the rest of his gang and deliver the whole bunch to you.
You were directly responsible for the deaths of 4 stormtroopers and 32 Imperial Army troops. Also for the destruction of 2 chariot command speeders and their crews. I am not the Lord Darth Vader, Farrier. I do not spend my men recklessly, nor do I take their deaths lightly.
Sir, Admiral, I know that you've put a bounty on Card's whole group of almost...
But all that pales in comparison to the utter disaster you've created. Intelligence informed me of this meeting of smuggler chiefs almost 4 days ago. I knew the location, the timing, and the probable guest list. And I had already given the Trogan garrison precise instructions. Precise instructions, Farrier, to leave it strictly alone.
You... But... Sir... But I don't get it.
I'm sure you don't. I know these smugglers, Farrier. I've studied their operations. And I've made it a point to deal personally with each of them at least once over the past year. None of them wants to become entangled in this war. And without your staged attack, I'm quite certain they would have left Trogan convinced that they could sit things out in traditional smuggler neutrality. The result of your interference has been to unite them against the Empire. Precisely the turn of events I'd gone to great lengths to avoid.
I'm sorry, Admiral. I didn't mean... I mean, just give me another chance, huh? Just one more chance. I can deliver Card. I swear to you. Well, hey, I mean, never mind even Card. I'll deliver all of them to you.
You are a small-minded fool, Farrier. But even fools occasionally have their uses. You will have one more chance. One last chance. I trust I make myself clear.
Yes, Admiral. Real clear.
Good. You can start by telling me exactly what they have planned.
Sure. Don't worry, Admiral. You can count on me.
I certainly hope so. Because I would hate to have to send Rook to pay you a visit. I trust I make myself understood.
Yeah, I get it.
Good. Commander, escort our guest back to his ship, and see that his people are checked out on the assault shuttle I've had prepared for them. Yes, sir. Go with them, Rook. Farrier has a small mind, and I want it to leave here filled with the knowledge of what will happen if he trips over my plans again.
Yes, my lord.
Eventually, I'm sure some of the other smugglers will realize how unconvincing the Trogan attack really was. With a little judiciously planted evidence, perhaps we can persuade them that it was Card who was behind it. No word yet from Coruscant.
Not yet, sir. But you remember what Himron said about first creating a data trail. He might have run into some delays.
Perhaps. Perhaps not. Still, even if we fail to obtain the twins for our beloved Jedi Master, Major Himron's fingering of Mara Jade should succeed in neutralizing her as a threat to us. For the moment, that's what's important. Set course for the Kataris battle plane, Captain. We'll leave as soon as Farrier is clear. Colonel Bremen, I want to talk to you a minute. If it's about Mara Jade, I don't want to hear it. She's still under house arrest. I want to know why. Gee, well maybe it has something to do with that Imperial attack 2 nights ago. You suppose? Could be. She was there on the scene before any alert was sounded. She admits that. Well, so are Lando and General Bel Iblis. Calrissian and Bel Iblis have histories with the New Republic, and people here who vouch for them. Jade has neither.
Leia and I vouch for her. Isn't that good enough? Or are you just mad at her for doing your job for you?
We're not doing this to be popular, Solo. We're doing this to protect New Republic lives. Yours and your children's among them, if you recall. I presume Counselor Organa Solo will be at Mon Mothma's briefing. If she has any complaints or suggestions, she can present them there. Until then, I don't want to hear anything about Jade from anyone. Especially you. Is that clear, Captain Solo?
Yeah, sure.
Good.
You do have a way with people, don't you?
Luke, when did you get back?
About 10 minutes ago. Winter said that Mara was under house arrest.
Yeah. And it looks like she's gonna stay there. At least till we can convince the bit pushers down in security that she's clear.
Yes. Well, that might not be as easy as it sounds.
Why not?
Because she spent most of the war years as a personal assistant to the Emperor.
I hope you're kidding.
I'm not. Well, we'll just have to convince that...
What is it?
I don't know. I just felt a disturbance in the Force. And I'm not sure, but I think it was coming from Leia.
You think we should run?
No. But we can walk fast. Hello, Mara. I just stopped in to see how you were doing. I'm doing fine. You're going to try to get me out, and we're all glad I saved you from Sabayoth. Was there anything else? I just wanted to ask why you did it. I don't know. I guess it was just something about Thrawn trying to steal your children. Where did you come from, Mara? Before the Emperor brought you to Coruscant, did you have any choice? So that's where you're going with this. You think I risked my life for your twins because I got taken away from my home the same way? Were you? No. I just didn't want Sabayoth getting his crazy grip on them. Just leave it at that. All right. I'd better get downstairs to the briefing. See what Thrawn's fighting clones are up to today. What fighting clones? You don't know? Know what? The Empire's found some Spa'arti cloning cylinders somewhere. They've been turning out huge numbers of clones to fight against us. I think I know where Thrawn's Spa'arti cylinders are. Where? The Emperor had a private storehouse. It was beneath a mountain, on a world he called Wayland. I don't know if it even had an official name. It was where he kept all his private mementos and souvenirs, and odd bits of technology he thought might be useful someday. One of the artificial caverns held a complete cloning facility he'd apparently appropriated from one of the clone masters. How complete was it? Very. How many cylinders were there? Were there 1,000 cylinders? 2,000? 10? I'd say at least 20,000. 20,000? You aren't to tell anyone what you've just told me. Anyone. Thrawn is still getting information out of the palace. And this is, well, worth killing for. I understand.
Well?
I did a complete circle around the office area. No beings or droids anywhere nearby. How about here? I had Lieutenant Page come in personally and do a counterintelligence sweep. And no one's come in since then. Everything should be secure.
Great. Now we can find out what this is all about.
Yes. Mara thinks she knows where the Empire's cloning facility is.
Where?
On a planet the Emperor called Wayland. A code name, apparently. It's not on any list I can find. What was it? One of the old Clone Master facilities? Mara said it was the Emperor's storehouse.
I got the impression that it was a sort of combination trophy room and equipment dump.
A private rat's nest. Sounds like him. Where is it?
She doesn't have the coordinates. She was only there once, but she thinks she can find it again.
Why hasn't she said something about it before now?
Apparently, she didn't know about the clones until I said something. She was undergoing neural regeneration, remember, when everyone here was discussing it.
It's still hard to believe she could just miss the whole thing. Here she was, with practically free run of the palace. Then she gets fingered by an Imperial commando leader and locked up. And suddenly she's dangling Wayland in front of us and wanting us to break her out.
Who said anything about breaking her out?
Lando's right. We'll have to take her with us.
Thrawn's already tried once to get you and that Sabaoth character together. This could be another trap.
It's not a trap. At least, not on Mara's part.
I agree. And I think you're right. We have to take her with us.
Let me guess. This is one of those crazy Jedi things, right?
Partly. There's also some Jedi insight involved here. I touched Mara's mind twice during that attack. Mara doesn't like us very much. But on some level, I don't think that matters. She understands what a new round of Clone Wars would do to the galaxy, and she doesn't want that.
If she's willing to take me to Wayland, I'm going. I'm not asking any of you to go along. All I want is your help getting Mon Mothma to release her.
If Thrawn wants to shut Mara up for good, he'll have all the time he needs to do it.
What's the alternative?
What Lando already said. We break her out.
Han, we can't do that.
Sure we can. Chewie and me had to pop a guy out of an Imperial hotbox once, and it worked just fine. It did too. It's going to be Luke and me. You and Chewie are staying here, where it's safe.
Might as well make it a party of 4. The way things are going with my Nomad City petition, it doesn't look like I'm gonna have much else to do. It'd be nice to pay them back a little for that.
Sounds good to me, pal. Okay, Chewie. Now what's your problem? Well, we'd like to have you along too. But someone's gotta stay here and take care of Leia. Right. That's why you're staying.
I have an idea.
You're kidding. This is a joke, right? Yeah, it's a joke. Because if you think I'm gonna leave Leia and the twins with...
It's the only way, Han. Sorry, Han. I happen to think it's a good idea. I guess it's one of those crazy Jedi things.
Very funny.
As for me, I trust Princess Leia's judgment. If she believes we'll be safe, I'm willing to accept that. You've got a few days to get used to the idea. Maybe we can change your mind.
Yeah, sure.
So that's it?
That's it. We've got a mission to plan. Let's get to it.
Status. All systems showing ready. Bailey, Lacton and Corvus are at the turbo lasers.
Thank you. Stick around, Dankin. You're going to be captain today.
I'm on it. What do you suppose this is all about?
No idea. According to Parta, all Mazak would say was that I might want to come by Bilbringi after our rendezvous with the others at Chazwa.
Probably the eye-catching lesson for the Empire he and Elor were talking about at Trogan. I don't think I'm going to like this.
Just remember that whatever happens, we're innocent bystanders. An incoming freighter with an authorized delivery schedule and a cargo of Consayer power converters. Perfectly legitimate.
As long as they don't look too close at any of it. Okay, here we go. Look at all that new construction. They aren't kidding around, are they?
No, they're not. Nor are they kidding around at Ordrasi or Yaga Minor.
Incoming freighter. This is Bilbringi Control. Identify yourself and your home port and state your business.
Denkin.
Freighter Hab Camber, out of Valar. Captain Mabel Quiller in command, carrying a shipment of power converters for Dock 47.
Acknowledged. Stand by for confirmation.
We're launching an assault shuttle.
Hold course.
They may be seeing how nervous we are. Or else they're expecting trouble.
Or are cleaning up after it. If Mazik's already been here...
Freighter Hab Camber. You're ordered to hold position there. An inspection team is on its way to examine your shipment order.
Why? What's wrong with it? Look, I've got a business to run here. I haven't got time for any bureaucratic nonsense.
If you'd prefer, we can arrange to end all of your scheduling problems right here and now. If that doesn't appeal to you, I'd suggest you prepare to receive boarders.
Acknowledge, Control. I just hope they're fast.
Control out.
Now what? We prepare to receive boarders. Aves, get me a reading on those. They don't look like ships to me. They're not. Look to be mid-sized asteroids. Maybe 40 meters across each. I make the count 22 of them.
Odd. I wonder what the Imperials are doing with that many asteroids.
Could be mining them. I've never heard of anyone hauling the whole asteroid to a shipyard, though.
Neither have I. It's just a thought, but I wonder if they could have something to do with Thrawn's magic superweapon. The one he hit Yukio and Wustri with.
That might explain the heavy security. Speaking of which, that assault shuttle's still coming. Are we going to let them board?
Unless you'd rather turn and run, I don't see many alternatives. Denkin, how much scrutiny can our delivery schedule handle?
It can stand a lot. Depends a little on if they suspect something, or if they're just being careful. Card, take a look about 40 degrees to port side. That half-finished Imperial Star Destroyer. See it?
I see it. What about it?
There seems to be some activity around...
Scratch one warship. Mazik, you think?
I don't think there's any doubt. I also think they may have cut things a bit too fine. They've been spotted.
We going to help them out?
By all rights, we shouldn't lift a finger. Helping to salvage careless tactical planning only encourages more of the same. But I suppose we can't just sit here. Corvus?
Here.
On my command, you're to open fire on that approaching assault shuttle. Baelig and Lacton, you'll target the battle station. See how much chaos we can cause. At the same time, Aves, you'll bring us around onto a vector of...
Wait a minute, Card. There, 50 degrees port side.
Well, well. Perhaps Mazik's tactics aren't as bad as I'd thought.
That's gotta be Elor's people.
Agreed.
By the way, are we still planning to hit that assault shuttle?
No, actually. Corvus, Baelig, Lacton, power down those turbo lasers. Everyone else, stand down from alert and prepare to receive Imperial inspectors.
We're not going to run? Not even after that?
What's happening out there has absolutely nothing to do with us. We're an independent freighter with a cargo of power converters, remember? We're not going to be able to stop here. We're going to have to organize. All of us.
What?
Never mind. Have you anything to add to this report, General Drost?
No, sir.
Can you offer me any reason why you should not be relieved of command?
No, sir.
Return to your headquarters, General. The Chimera will be leaving here in approximately 30 hours. You have until then to design and implement a new security system for the shipyards. At that point, I'll make my decision about your future.
Understood, sir. I won't fail you again, Admiral.
I trust not. Dismissed. You disapprove, Captain.
I would have thought a more punitive response would be called for.
Drost is a good enough man in his way. His chief weakness is a tendency to become complacent. For the immediate future, at least, he should be cured of that.
A rather expensive lesson.
Yes.
But we can't simply ignore an attack of this magnitude.
We won't. In the meantime,
Grand Admiral Thrawn!
You wish to speak to me, Master Sabayoth?
They have failed, Grand Admiral Thrawn. Do you hear me? Your commandos have failed.
I hear you. What have you done to my guards?
My men! Mine! I command the Empire, Grand Admiral Thrawn, not you! Your commandos have failed, Grand Admiral Thrawn, and it is time for me to take this task upon myself. You will take me to Coruscant, now!
Very well, Master Sabayoth. We will load my special cargo, and then we shall go.
What is this trick? Are those your special cargo?
You're the Jedi Master. You tell me.
Very well, Grand Admiral Thrawn. I will. Destroy Coruscant. Not until I have my Jedi.
I have no intention of destroying Coruscant.
You lie! You always lie to me. But no more! No more! I command the Empire and all its forces.
Impressive. Very impressive indeed. And what do you propose to do now?
I will take this ship to Coruscant to take my Jedi, not to destroy them.
It's a minimum of 5 days to Coruscant from here. 5 days, during which you'll have to maintain your control of the Chimera's 37,000 crewers. Longer, of course, if you intend for them to actually fight at the end of that voyage. And if you intend for us to arrive with any support craft, that figure of 37,000 will increase rather steeply.
Ha! You doubt the power of the Force, Grand Admiral Thrawn?
Not at all. I merely present the problems you and the Force will have to solve if you continue with this course of action. For instance, do you know where the Coruscant Sector Fleet is based? Or the number and types of ships making it up? Have you thought about how you will neutralize Coruscant's orbital battle stations and ground-based systems? Do you know who is in command of the planet's defenses at present, and how he or she is likely to deploy the available forces? Have you considered Coruscant's energy field? Do you know how best to use the strategic and tactical capabilities of an Imperial Star Destroyer?
I control the Force!
The galaxy is not yet ready for you to lead, Master Sabayoth. Later, when the order has been restored, I will present it to you, to govern as you please. But that time is not yet.
You will never present the Empire to me.
Never assume you are indispensable to my empire, Grand Admiral Thrawn. Only I am that. For now, however, I am pleased that you should lead my forces into battle. But you will not destroy Coruscant. Not until I have my Jedi.
As I have said already, I have no intention of destroying Coruscant. For now, the fear and undermining of morale that accompany a siege will serve my purposes better.
Then you may carry on with your duties. I will be meditating, should you require me. Meditating upon the future of my empire.
Signal the Relentless Captain. Tell Captain Dorja I need a 500-man caretaker crew for the next 6 hours.
Yes, sir. Will you be postponing the Coruscant operation?
No more than absolutely necessary. History is on the move, Captain. Those who cannot keep up will be left behind to watch from a distance. And those who stand in our way will not watch at all.
They came into Coruscant in the dead of night. 10 of them, disguised as Jawas. And for the first time, Han found himself face to face with the bodyguards his wife had chosen to protect her and her children from the Empire.
We greet you, Lady Vader. I am Kakmem, warrior of the clan Ichmir. I lead the honor guard of the Malari Ush. To your service and protection, we commit ourselves and our lives.
As the Malariush, I accept your service.
My lieutenant, Mubvikar, Clan Hakkar. He will lead the second watch.
My husband, Han Solo.
We greet you, the Nogri honor the consort of the Lady Vader.
Thanks. Nice meeting you, too.
And you, Kaparak. It's good to see you again. I trust the matriarch of your family as well?
She is very well, my lady. She sends her greetings, as well as a renewed promise of her service.
Any trouble? Everything go all right at the landing pad?
No problems.
I hope you sealed the door behind you. If another Imperial team gets in, Leia's gonna have her hands full.
It's closed, but not really sealed. We'll have Kakmame seal it behind us.
You're suggesting we go now?
Can you think of a better time? I mean, the Nogri are here and the Falcon's loaded and ready, and no one's likely to miss Mara until morning.
All right. Sure. Why not?
But he wasn't going anywhere until he'd said goodbye to his wife. And in private. The Emperor raised his hands, sending cascades of jagged blue-white lightning at his enemies. Both men staggered under the counterattack, and Mara watched with a sudden agonized hope that this time it might end differently. But no, Vader and Skywalker straightened, and with an electronic-sounding shriek of rage, they lifted their lightsabers high. Mara snapped awake. Across the room, the lock clicked open. Mara's searching hand touched the datapad she'd been reading from before going to sleep. And as the door swung open, she hurled the instrument with all her strength at the dark figure silhouetted in the doorway. We're here to get you out. We're going to Wayland. You told Leia you could find it. Sure, I told her that. When did I ever say I'd take anyone there? You have to, Mara. We're standing on the edge of a new round of Clone Wars here. We have to stop it. We put a restraining bolt on it. I didn't think you could restrain a guard droid. It's not easy, but Han and Chewie knew a way to do it. A nice trick.
I'll have to get Solo to teach it to me.
About time. Okay, Mara, where do we go?
Set course for Abroa Sky. That was the last stop before Wayland on that trip. I should be able to have the rest of it plotted out by the time we get there.
Let's hope so.
What kind of assault force are we taking?
You're looking at it. You, me, Luke, Lando, and Chewie.
I see. Terrific. You're sure we're not being unsporting about it?
We didn't have a lot more than this at Yavin. Or at Endor.
Your confidence is so very reassuring.
Before I forget, Luke, you're in charge of those droids back there. I don't want to see 3PO fiddling with anything unless Chewie or Lando is with him. Got that?
Got it. 3PO sometimes has extra time on his hands. He's taken an interest in mechanical work.
And he's pretty bad at it.
5 of them, on their way to invade an Imperial stronghold. And the only one of them who really trusted her was the one man she had to kill.
The Bellicose Task Force has arrived, Captain. Captain Aben reports all ships at battle readiness and requests final deployment orders.
Relay them to him, Lieutenant.
A shiver ran up Pellion's back, when a rustle of uneasiness rippled across the bridge around him. And even without looking, he knew what it meant. Sabayoth was here.
Master Sabayoth, what may I do for you?
I want a ship prepared for me at once. One with enough range to take me to Wayland.
To Wayland?
Yes. I told you long ago that I would eventually take command there. That time has now come.
Has something happened on Wayland?
What happens or does not happen on Wayland is of no concern of yours, Imperial Captain Pelion. Your only concern is to prepare me a ship. Or do I need to choose my own? You will prepare me a ship, Grand Admiral Thrawn. I wish to go to Wayland immediately.
Indeed. May I ask why?
My reasons are my own. Do you question them?
If you wish to go to Wayland, you may of course do so. Lieutenant Ashell? Sir! Signal the Death's Head. Inform Captain Harbred that the Star Galleon Draklor is to be detached from his group and reassigned to me. Crew only. I'll supply troops and passengers. Yes, sir.
I did not ask for troops, Grand Admiral Thrawn. Nor for any passengers.
I've been planning for some time to send General Covell to take command of the Mount Tantis garrison, as well as to supplement the troops already there. This would seem as good a time as any to do so.
All right. But it will be my ship, not Covell's. I will give the orders.
Of course, Master Sabayoth. I will so inform the General.
All right. All right. I will be in my chambers. Call me when my ship is ready.
As you wish.
You think Mount Tantis is in danger?
Not any substantial danger, no. Still, it's possible our far-seeing Jedi Master may indeed have picked up on something. Unrest among the natives, perhaps. Best not to take chances.
Could it be something having to do with the rebels?
Unlikely. There's no indication yet that they've even learned of Wayland's existence, let alone are planning any action against it. If and when that happens, we should have plenty of advance notice of their intentions.
Via Delta Source.
And via normal intelligence channels. It still disturbs you, doesn't it, to receive information from a source you don't understand? A little, sir, yes. Consider it a cultivation of your trust. Someday I'll turn Delta Source over to you. But not yet.
Yes, sir.
You seem disturbed, Captain.
I don't like the idea of him being inside Mount Tamtis, Admiral. I don't know why. I just don't like it.
I wouldn't worry about it. Actually, this is more likely to be a solution than a problem.
I don't understand.
All in good time, Captain. But now, to the business at hand. Is my flagship ready?
The Chimera is fully at your command, Admiral.
Good. Make certain the rest of the assault force is likewise, and inform them we'll be waiting until the Draklor has cleared the area. And then, we'll remind the Rebellion what war is all about.
The alarms wailed through the suite from the corridor outside, jolting Leia awake. But as she came awake enough to recognize the pitch of the alarm, she realized it was even worse. Coruscant was under attack. Across the room, the twins began to cry. "Winter! That's a battle alert!" "I know. I have to get to the war room right away." "I understand. Take care of the twins, will you? We'll watch them."
You may go without fear, Lady Vader. Your heirs will come to no harm.
I know. The hallway outside was filled with beings of all sorts, some of them hurrying along on business, the rest milling around in confusion or demanding information from the security guards standing duty. Leia maneuvered her way past the guards and through the clumps of anxious discussion, joining a handful of sleep-tousled military aides hurrying toward the turbolifts. Bare minutes after the alarm had sounded, the place was already a scene of marginally controlled chaos, as freshly awakened senior officers and aides hurried to battle positions. A single glance at the master tactical display showed that all the Fuhrer was fully justified. 8 Imperial interdictor cruisers had appeared in a loose grouping around the 116 vector in Sector 4. Their hyperdrive dampening gravitic cones blocking all entry or exit from the region immediately around Coruscant. What's going on? It's an Imperial attack. How did you get in here? No, I cut myself an entry code a while back. I haven't had much to do lately. Stay out of the way, and don't touch anything. On second thought, come with me. Who's in charge here?
I am.
I'm Counselor Organa Solo. This is Gent, an expert slicer. Can you use him?
I don't know. Ever tackled an Imperial battle encrypt code, Gent?
Nope. Never seen one. I've sliced a couple of their regular military encrypts, though.
Which ones?
Well, there was one called the Lapido program. Oh, and there was something called the Ilco encrypt back when I was 12.
Come on over, son. We've got a console for you right here.
Standing in front of the raised command chair, barking out orders to everyone in sight, was Admiral Drayson. Drayson?
Akbar's on an inspection tour of the Kataris region. That leaves Drayson in charge.
We've got to get someone else in command here. Counselor Organa Solo, I was told to stay back here out of the way. Can you tell me what's happening? What's happening is that we need Garm. Where is he? Observation gallery. He won't come down. Not unless and until Mon Mothma asks him to. His own words. Don't worry. I'll get him down here.
Hello, Leia. I thought you'd be down below.
I should be. And so should you. We need you down...
You have your comlink with you.
Yes?
Get it out, now. Call Drayson and warn him about those 2 interdictors. Thrawn pulled this stunt on us at Cat Kristak. He uses an interdictor cruiser to define a hyperspace edge, then brings a ship in along an intersecting vector to drop out at a precisely chosen point. Drayson needs to pull some ships up on those flanks to be ready for whatever Thrawn's bringing in. Too late. Drayson's no match for him. He just isn't.
You have to come down, Garm.
I can't. Not until Mon Mothma asks me to.
You're behaving like a child.
You don't understand, Leia. This has nothing to do with me. It has to do with Mon Mothma. After all these years, I finally understand why she does things the way she does. I've always assumed she was gathering more and more power to herself, simply because she was in love with power. But I was wrong.
So why does she do it?
Because with everything she does, there are lives hanging in the balance. And she's terrified of trusting anyone else with those lives. That's why I can't simply go down and take command. Till she's able to accept me, really accept me, as someone she can trust, she won't ever be able to give me any genuine authority in the New Republic. She'll always need to be hovering around in the background somewhere, watching over my shoulder to make sure I don't make any mistakes. She hasn't got time for that. I haven't got the patience, and the friction would be devastating for everyone caught in the middle. When she's ready to trust me, I'll be ready to serve. Until then, it's better for everyone involved if I stay out of it.
Except for those dying out there. Let me call her, Garm. Maybe I can persuade her to offer you command.
If you have to persuade her, Leia, it doesn't count. She has to decide this for herself.
Perhaps she has. Mon Mothma, It's all right, Leia. General Bel Iblis?
Yes?
We've had more than our share of differences over the years, General. But that was a long time ago. We were a good team once. There's no reason why we can't be one again.
Mon Mothma, given the current emergency, I hereby request your permission to take command of Coruscant's defense.
I would be very grateful if you would do so, Garm.
Then let's get to it.
Our engine is down! We have disabled our laser. Primary drive system is down! Our engine is down! Primary drive system is down! Our lasers are inoperable. In attack formation. I've got him lined up. Our engine is down! Primary drive system is down! Still good. I can't maneuver. They have disabled our laser.
Our space station is under attack.
Still good. I can't maneuver. I can't hold out.
Squadron A4, move to Sector 22.
So far, as near as he could tell, the battle seemed to be going well.
There they go.
Where?
They're preparing to pull back. Observe how that dreadnought is moving into cover position for a retreat. There, the second one is following suit.
They're abandoning the battle stations?
They never should have brought those ships out to defend them in the first place. Golan defense platforms can take considerably more punishment than their former ground commander apparently realized.
Their former ground commander?
Yes. At a guess, I'd say our old Corellian adversary has just been put in command of Coruscant's defense. I wonder what took them so long.
Perhaps they had to wake him up.
Perhaps. You see how the Corellian offers us a choice. Stay here and duel with the battle stations, or follow the defenders down into range of the ground-based weaponry. Fortunately, we have a third option.
Yes, sir. Shall I order the tractor launching?
We'll wait for the Corellian to pull his ships back a bit further. We wouldn't want him to miss this.
Understood.
General Bel Iblis, we're getting a funny reading from the Chimera's hangar bay.
What is it?
It reads like the launching tractor beam's being activated. But it's pulling far too much power. Near as we can tell, nothing at all left the bay.
Calculate the exit vector. All ships,
Sensor focus along that path for drive emissions. I think the Chimera's just launched a cloaked ship. Signal the battle stations to track and fire along those vectors, as close to the Star Destroyers as possible.
We've got to find out what Thrawn's up to.
Collision! Escort frigate Evinru! Impact with unknown object!
Impact?
Not a turbo laser shot? Telemetry indicates physical impact.
Order the Harrier to use its ion cannon only.
Repeat, ion cannon only. No turbo lasers.
You're trying to take the ship intact?
I'm trying to take it intact, yes. But I don't think it's a ship.
The Harrier's ion cannon began to fire. The Dreadnought opened fire, as indeed Thrawn had predicted it would. But only, Pelion noted, with some surprise, with its ion cannon.
Admiral?
Yes, I see. Interesting. I was right, Captain. Our old Corellian adversary is indeed in command below. But he's allowed us to lead him by the nose only so far.
He's trying to knock out the asteroid's cloaking shield,
hoping to take it intact. Forward turbo laser batteries. Track and target asteroid number 1. Fire on my command only.
The Dreadnought had found its target, its ion beams vanishing in mid-space as they flooded down into the cloaking shield. It shouldn't be able to take much more of that. Abruptly, the stars in that empty region vanished. For a couple of heartbeats, there was complete blackness as the cloaking shield collapsed in on itself. Then, just as abruptly, the newly uncloaked asteroid was visible. The ion beams cut off.
Turbo lasers stand by. We want them to have a good look first. Turbo lasers, fire! Ceasefire. They're welcome to whatever's left. Hangar Bay, firing status.
We're up to 72, sir. But the power feedback shunt's starting to glow white. We can't keep up these dry firings much longer without burning out either the shunt or the tractor projector itself.
Close down dry firing, and signal the other ships to do likewise. How many total firings have there been, Captain?
287.
I presume all 22 actual asteroids are out.
Yes, sir. Most of them in the first 2 minutes. Though there's been no way of knowing if they've taken up their prescribed orbits.
The specific orbits are irrelevant. All that matters is that the asteroids are somewhere in the space around Coruscant.
And now we leave, sir?
Now we leave. For the moment, at least, Coruscant is effectively out of the
The final numbers are in. They can't be absolutely certain they didn't miss any through the battle debris. But even so, the count is 287.
287?
What now?
For starters, I don't think the situation is quite as bad as it looks. From everything I've heard about how expensive cloaking shields are, I can't see Thrawn squandering the kind of resources 300 of them would take. Especially when a much smaller number would do the job just as well. It doesn't matter how many ships are up there. Eventually, their orbits will decay. Letting even one hit the ground would be a disaster. Until we've cleared them out, we can't risk lowering the planetary shield.
The problem being how we locate them, and how we know when we've gotten them all.
The sector fleet can have the out-orbit relay station replaced in a few hours, so at least we'll be able to direct the New Republic's defense from here. It'll also make it easier to transmit an all-worlds alert. Mara Jade's escaped.
How?
With help. The guard droid was deactivated. Some kind of jury-rigged restraining bolt. It erased that section of memory, too. We've had extra security on the command floor since the break was discovered, thinking they might have been planning some sabotage to coincide with the Imperial's attack. That could still be the plan. Have you sealed off the palace? Like a smuggler's profit box. I doubt they're still here, though.
We'll need to make certain of that.
I want you to organize a complete search of the palace, Colonel.
Right away.
Don't bother, Colonel. Mara's not here.
How do you know?
Because she left Coruscant earlier tonight, along with Han and Luke.
I wondered why Solo didn't come to the war room with you. You want to tell us what's going on?
Mara thinks she knows where the Empire's cloning facility might be. We thought it would be worth sending her and a small team to check it out.
We thought? Who is this we?
My family and closest friends. The only people I can be absolutely certain aren't leaking information to the Empire.
That is a gross insult.
Enough, Admiral. Whatever reprimands may be due here can wait until later. Whether it was prudent or otherwise, the fact remains that they're on their way, and we need to decide how best to help them. Well, the most important thing to do is to pretend Mara's still here. She told me she'd only been to Wayland once, and she couldn't guess how long it would take her to reconstruct the route. The longer lead they have, the less time the Empire will have to rush reinforcements there. What happens then? Assuming they find it, they'll try to destroy it. You'll need to talk to everyone who knows Mara Jade is gone, Colonel. For now, that's all we can do. Let's concentrate on Coruscant's immediate problems. Defense, and finding those cloaked asteroids. General Bel Iblis. A tentative hand touched Leia's shoulder, and she turned to find the Slicer, Ghent, standing there. It's all over? The battlements, yes. Come on, I'll tell you all about it outside. What did you think of Imperial battle encrypt codes?
Oh, they're okay. The guys in there didn't let me do all that much, really. I didn't know their machines as well as they did. They had kind of a silly drill going, too.
People get into routines on the way they do things. Maybe I can arrange for you to talk to the person in overall charge and offer some suggestions.
Nah, military types wouldn't like the way I do things. Even Card gets bent out by it sometimes. By the way, you know that pulse transmitter you've got going somewhere nearby?
The one Delta Source has been using? Counterintelligence has been trying to locate it since it started transmitting. But it's some sort of cross-frequency split-phase something or other, and they haven't had any luck.
Oh. Well, that's a tech problem. I don't know anything about those.
That's all right. I'm sure you'll find other ways to help.
Yeah. Anyway, here.
What's this?
It's the encrypt code from the pulse transmitter.
It's what?
The encrypt code that cross-frequency Whatsis is using. I finally got it sliced.
Does anyone know you have this?
I thought about giving it to that colonel in there before I left, but he was busy talking to someone.
Don't tell anyone else. And I mean anyone.
Okay. Whatever you say.
Thank you. It was the key to Delta Source. Deep within her, she knew that. All she needed was to find the right way to use it. And to find it fast.